Did you check the weather before we left, Rick?
No, but it sure looks like I should have. So these days, with weather reports so frequently available to us, we see it on TV, on the cable news, we have cell phones that have weather apps on them and gives us detailed weather. Why is it that people still get caught out from freak weather happenings? And people do. I mean, just this past week alone, we lost 4 little girls in this country. 2 due to a flash flood, and 2 others that were on inner tubes on a lake, and a thunderstorm came through, and they were both drowned. People get caught out, but why is that? Years ago, one of my friends was out on a lake on a small sailboat, him and his 9-year-old daughter, and they got caught by a thunderstorm and it capsized the boat. And she drowned instantly. He couldn't find her after the boat flipped over. He couldn't find her, and evidently she'd gotten hit in the head and went immediately under. And all these families, I feel so sorry for them. I mean, what a terrible, terrible loss. But I think what happens is that people get caught up in getting all their gear ready and their picnic baskets full, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend, let's get out there, let's go, and they forget. They just forget to check the weather. But weather happens. Back when I was younger, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have cable news, we didn't have anything like that. And I mean, we would depend on like a barometer for the weather. And you could get to watch TV and you can get weather report, but when you got out away from home, there was no way to pick up a weather report. Basically, you'd watch a barometer, and every day you would mark down what the high reading was, and you'd mark down what the low reading was, and you'd watch that every day. And then when it did something unusual, if it was going low, if it dipping down really low, for example, you'd know that there was a storm approaching. And we would watch the sky, watch what the clouds were doing. I mean, mackerel sky and mare's tails make lofty ships carry low sails. What does that mean? Well, the mackerel sky is the high clouds that look like all kinds of fish scales, and then the mare's tails would be the cirrus, the wispy cirrus ones. And when you saw them together, you knew that bad weather was going to be at your location within like maybe 24 hours. Or like, how about, you've seen the halo around the sun, or the big halo around the moon? It's called a 22.5-degree halo. And that means that you're likely to get rain within the next 24 hours. I mean, these are the things we had to do. But it was kind of like a natural thing. You'd look at the sky, see what was going on, and kind of help plan what you needed to do for the next couple of days anyway. But these days now, like I say, cell phone with weather apps and everything, and weather is easily at hand. But we still leave without checking the weather. Did you bring a coat? You never know what you're going to run into. Here in Montana, they say, never get more than 100 yards away from your coat. And they mean that because it can snow here in July. One fella told me when I first moved to Montana 20 years ago, and it snowed in June, and I says, it was in Butte, and I says, when does it quit snowing in Butte? He says, well, it generally stops around the second week of July and doesn't kick back in again until about the 1st of August. He was joking, but yeah, never get more than 100 yards from your coat some places. Have you ever noticed a really dark blue sky, like this one today? That means there's cold air aloft. Better keep your jacket handy. Could get chilly at any time. It's also perfect for the formation of thundercells, thunderstorms. Another old sailor's adage is, rain before the wind, topsail sheets and halyards mind. Wind before the rain, soon your sails may hoist again. That means if it starts raining and then the wind starts blowing, you're in for it. Better buckle down. But if the wind starts blowing and then it starts raining after that, that means you're going to get clearing pretty soon. Did I get that right? But when you do decide to head out and go camping, plan on some unusual weather, make sure you've got decent shoes along. Make sure you bring a rain jacket, and make sure every member of your family has something like that in case the weather turns cold. Yesterday here in this beautiful place we're in, it was raining and it was spitting snow. It was cold here. Today it's going to be like 75. Yesterday I saw 39 when we went to bed. So it can be pretty chilly. But there's the thing I wanted to point out. These weather radios, they still have a place today, because back here, these are, I probably got a half a dozen of these things. I keep one at the cabin. This one's always in the car. But the thing about these is that like here, I don't get cell phone at all. I don't even get a single bar where I'm at, but I can still pick up NOAA weather. There's 10 different channels that these radios pick up, and whatever location you're in, there's a good chance that you can pick up weather on these, even though you can't get a cell signal. It's worthwhile having one of these in your kit. This is a new one by Sung Life. I'm giving away 2 of these, so later on in this video, stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you how you can enter them. Like I say, I'm giving away 2 of these radios. Things you can do just to make sure that you got your rear end covered, if you know what I mean. And another thing about the weather is, what if you drive back on a forest road, a dirt road, set up camp, and then it starts pouring down rain? Are you going to be able to get back out? What if it's snow, it starts snowing heavy? Can you get back out? These are things you got to think about before you drive in. There's a fellow we know, really nice guy, but he just got stuck in the forest for about a month waiting for the roads to dry up so he could get unstuck. So these things happen. You got to be prepared for them too. Make sure you get enough food and water, so you're not, if you do get stuck and have to spend a little extra time, make sure you got extra supplies to get you through that. Must have been one heck of a windstorm this spring, not too long ago, because there are blowdown trees just everywhere around here. That's why I say you got to be real mindful of the weather. Weather can kill you. That way? All this fur on the ground, this is deer fur. So this is the site of a deer kill, probably by wolf or mountain lion. There's a big tuft of hair here. Yeah, and we came across some really big scat here, it was full of fur like this, same fur. So probably Linda and I were thinking mountain lion or wolf, and I think we both agreed probably wolf because the scat was so big. This is still attached to a little bit of skin here. This is some of the scat I was talking about, full of fur. It's big. It's probably, 1.5 inches in diameter. You guys sure looking tame. Yeah, you. When you see big stones like this overturned, there's another one up here. This stone probably weighs 20-30 pounds. When they're overturned like this is bear activity. They're getting the grubs underneath.
It's a cool secret place for kids to play with all the flat stones.
So we're just out walking in the woods, not too far from camp. But it's really easy to go for a hike on a summer day and get caught out by the weather. Linda and I have both got hypothermia, or been hypothermic in Hawaii of all places. Isn't that right? You want to tell your story first?
No, you go first.
Well, this is before I think I just met Linda. And I was just in my mid-20s, and I had hiked through Haleakala Crater on the island of Maui and spent the night up in the crater. And then the next day, I was hiking down an area called Kaupo Gap. I think I was coming out of about 9,000 feet, heading down the mountain, just like a straight slope all the way down to the ocean miles away. Bright sunlight, bright sunlight, but it was really blowing hard. And the rain was coming from the side. Even though I was in the sunshine, I was getting soaking wet. Of course, you don't carry a coat in Hawaii, do you? So I started getting colder and colder. My teeth were chattering and I was shivering uncontrollably. And there was a depression in the ground, maybe like a little crater in the ground. And I got down in it and laid there on the ground and managed to get out of the wind and let the sun warm my bones back up. I was really pretty sick the next day. How about you?
Well, I say I was hypothermic, but I might have just been freezing.
Yeah, but it's easy to go hypothermic from freezing.
Yeah.
What were you doing, dear?
Well, I was a little kid with my cousins and my Hawaiian uncle, and he was fishing with nets, and you lay the nets out from the beach out, and someone drives the fish over. And anyway, I'm just a skinny, scrawny little kid with no fat at all on me, and you had to stand in the water by the nets to pull the nets in and get the fish out. But we'd freeze because it was on the eastern side of the island, and you get the northeast trades coming across that water, and it's pretty cold and you're standing in the water. So we'd squat in the water up to our necks, because at least we knew our bodies wouldn't get any colder than the ambient temperature of the water.
And the ambient temperature of the water, even though it's Hawaii, it's still well below what your temperature for your body ought to be. And it can also really lower your core temperature. So along with the cool water and then the wind blowing, she was getting hyperthermic probably as a child. Hey, you never know. You got to be careful all the time.
Tonight, mostly cloudy. Rain showers likely and slight chance of thunderstorms early in the evening.
Okay, these are pretty slick little radios. I mean, I paid about $150 for this one years ago, and it picks up airplanes and stuff like that, but the main thing I got it for was for the weather. But it was spendy. These go for, I don't know, around $36 with Prime delivered. Nowadays, of course, it's got the AM, FM on it. It's got solar charging, hand crank charging. You can crank it up even if the battery's dead. It's USB rechargeable, and it's got a reading light. It's got a flashlight. Yeah, pretty good. I'd like to give 2 of these away. So if you're still listening at this point, just leave a comment down below and be a subscriber to the channel. I'm going to give 1 of these away to an old subscriber. I'm going to give 1 of these away to a new subscriber. Now make sure that on YouTube your subscriptions are listed as public and not private. Otherwise I can't see if you're subscribed or not. So be sure and leave a comment, and I hope you win. Let's go find lunch. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you around.